We're talking about flu and colds, shots or not. And we'll also be talking about a functioning immune system. Here is the disclaimer. I'm going to say never trust my judgment and things I say or Dr. Debbie says for your own good judgment. And when you're not sure, please see a doctor. Okay, that's my disclaimer. And away we go. I want to talk about Dr. Mehmet Oz. He's somebody that's been driving me crazy lately. Drink milk every day. Milk every day? Are you kidding? But I did see one of his shows recently with cardiologist Stephen Sinatra and nutritionist Johnny Bowden. And they said, everything we know about cholesterol, it's not true. Did anyone see that show?
Even before then.
I
heard that, that's right. It's basically a farce what we're going through.
Okay.
Public scare.
So here I have been, worrying about my cholesterol when in fact if I would do a particle test of the LDL, the lousy cholesterol, I would know there's a little one, there's a bigger one, there's a bigger one, and it's only that little one that sticks against the wall and gets into your crevices and makes the plaque. Those are your culprits: sugar, bread, and pasta. I know, how can you live without pasta? I know I can't. This leads me to Dr. Debbie. I met Dr. Debbie and we sat down and we talked about nutrition and we talked about wellness and we did some very intense testing that the doctors don't even do, and it's not expensive. Okay, so didn't have insurance. Bad. We found out that I am pre-diabetic. My thyroid could use a good kick in the butt. And I am pre-heart disease. Now, I don't have these things. I'm just headed towards those things if I don't watch myself. So what we did is we cut out everything except protein, fruits, and vegetables. And I'm feeling better. I'm looking better. My God, I like myself now. You get one or two gems out of tonight and you put them back into your life and it makes a difference to your health. High fives all around. Dr. Debbie.
Thank you. My goal tonight, my intention is for you to walk away with a lot of information, a lot of power, a lot of things that you can do when you walk out of here to improve how you deal with colds and flus. And what about all these flu shots and vaccinations that are always being encouraged?
So here are the facts on colds and flu in just a short 10-minute show.
Colds and flus are viruses, and it's been decades since the germ theory was disproven. So it's not the germs, it's not the viruses that you're exposed to that matter. What matters is the state of your immune system. And that's what's going to determine whether you get sick, and if you get sick, how well and if you can recover.
And here's how you do it.
Really, the key to the immune system is the small intestine. Who in here knew that the small intestine, yay. So, those of you that know, the small intestine is where your immune system, 70% or more of your immune system lives. If that gets disrupted or gets damaged, you're in trouble.
Stress, it's killing you.
One of the biggest factors for maintaining your intestinal lining health and your immune system is being able to deal with stress.
All kinds of stress.
From good stress to bad stress, to emotional stress, to physical stress, to toxic stress. Whatever you can do to counter stress, integrate into your daily activity something that counters the awful stress that we encounter every day.
What's the trick, Dr. Debbie?
That can be done by either meditating, if you don't meditate, then by praying, by taking a hot bath, by listening to soft music, by doing the restorative pose. And the restorative pose is something that I teach all my patients because it's a very simple thing to do. It's basically a 15-minute mini vacation for your body. And what you do is you lay down on the floor with your calves on a chair, a couch, a bed, whatever, so that your legs are 90 degrees to your body. And your hands are by your sides. And if you have a low ceiling, you can put a picture on the ceiling or of a nature scene or a resort or somewhere you'd like to be. And you imagine yourself there for 15 minutes, having the time of your life, relaxing, smiling, being joyous. And don't let anything enter into your thoughts. The day, what you have to do, how you're feeling, who told you what, who fought with you, forget all that.
And that's just the first part. What about gluten and dairy?
A standard American diet is sad. It's very sad. Because there are two very big food groups that are included in this diet, and they're in breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and snacks. And that's gluten and dairy. And unfortunately, the gluten and the dairy of today is not the gluten and the dairy of 60 or 70 years ago. Because it's been completely changed. It's been changed in terms of combining plants to make plants stronger. And if that happens, then you have undigested proteins going into your bloodstream, along with anything else that's living in your gut, whether it's bacteria or toxics or chemicals or whatever. And when they go into your bloodstream, these foods, these undigested proteins, your white blood cell looks at that and says, what is that? That's not food. It doesn't recognize it as food because it's not the right size, it's not the right shape. It doesn't look like a broken down molecule that it's used to see. So it says, let's attack it, let's tag it. And then you have all these molecules running around your body with antibodies. And pretty soon the immune system can't tell the difference between the protein you just ate, the fat you just ate, or the sugar you just ate, and you, because it looks very similar. And your body starts attacking you and actually betraying you, because it's not supposed to do that. So the more that happens, the more likely it is that you're going to end up with some kind of pre-autoimmune condition.
And this can affect your brain?
The nervous system is right next to the bloodstream of your intestinal tract. So there's a ton of nerves there called the enteric nervous system. And so those antibodies can jump on those nerves and take a ride up to your brain and start inflaming your brain and breaking your blood-brain barrier. And then you start to have all kinds of neurological problems and symptoms that nobody can tell why they're happening. There's nothing on the MRIs, there's nothing on the brain scans, there's nothing on the CT scans, but you don't feel good.
Preventative medicine, it's the best.
Once you're diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, that means that that organ is 80% gone. You've destroyed it, you've eaten it out, it's gone. You can't restore that, you can't replace that. So 53 million people today are walking around with 80% of their organs gone and dependent on medication and a chronic, really degenerative process for the rest of their lives. So you want to know before that happens. And if you know that it's already happened, you want to know what to do to start helping your immune system become functional again. And then there's also exposure to things like chemicals and drugs.
Watch out for
Alcohol, or you smoke cigarettes, or you're on any medications. Some of the medications can cause damage to the lining.
Here's Dr. Debbie's take on meat.
Meat is toxic. Well, it's not really toxic. Our intestinal tract is familiar with meat, knows what to do with it. But new foods, man-made foods, it sure doesn't know what to do with them. You really want to keep your intestines healthy, and you want to figure out a way to eat as cleanly as possible.
Some final Dr. Debbie advice.
Taking care of your gut, taking care of what you eat is very important. Marian already mentioned, keep your body less inflamed, more protected on fruits, vegetables, and proteins.